Don't know why I felt the need to show you with my fingers. I have a market on the 15th, and then next week my dad is off work, so we're going to try and get some testing done. A lot of it I can do on my own, but quite the physical testing part I do need some assistance with, so I've had to wait until his schedule would allow for us to do some more. Also, if you remember from the end of last week's video, I promised that I would show you something rather special, and that is that is an anchor, the octopus, all completed. He is huge. He's got his tummy and his suckers, so he sits really nicely. Like if I sort of just... he sits really well. He looks absolutely glorious. But you know how like real octopuses are like really soft and squishy and can squeeze through like literally like millimeter spaces? So he is pretty nice and squishy. I think he's wonderful. I'm so happy with him. He is going to be my, hold on, like a baby, my most expensive plushie to date. I am charging £95 British pounds for this octopus, which, considering how long it took me, I think is very fair. He also cost me almost £30 just in materials, and actually he cost me £40 in materials, but I didn't use all of the materials that I bought for him, so I've only charged for the materials that I actually used, and then my time was about £65. So 95 is literally basically the minimum that I should be charging for this guy. I am behind today. I meant to film yesterday and on Monday, and I didn't. What did I do on Monday? Seriously, what did I do on Monday? Right, Monday I started the paperwork for the next pattern that I am testing, which is the mushy boy, but I ran out of paper, which kind of threw a spanner in my works. So I did as much of the paperwork as I could up to the point where I ran out of paper. I'd separated out all the plushies that I'm planning on trying to test this week. So we've got a mushy with embroidered eyes, a mushy with safety eyes, a mushy crush, which is the popping one. Then I'd also separated out, I've already got the paperwork for these, I just need to do the physical tests. The bees, got a big bee, a small bee and a small bee with felt eyes to test, and then across the testing of the embroidered eyes and the felt eyes, I will then be able to apply that to other plushies. So if this fails or if this fails, I won't do embroidered or felt eyes again, but if they pass I can use it on other plushies is the idea. Then I also separated out an opossum because I want to do it at the opossums, and then I separated out a frog, a duck pop, sorry, and a monkey pop. But because I separated those out of my inventory, I then had to I remade a frog and I remade a couple of bees, and I think that's basically all I got done. Oh, and I think I remade a duck, but then I think that's all I got done on Monday. Then on Tuesday I was planning that my paper, sorry, I'm just putting all the plushies away behind you. I didn't think my paper was going to arrive because it was Amazon, and Amazon said it was going to arrive at like between 8 and 10 p.m. So I decided to work on something else, which was a custom plushie for a friend whose pet recently passed away, and I wanted to do something to show my support and my condolences and stuff. So I offered to crochet his, like, a memorial piece for his pet. She is the most detailed plushie that I've done ever in terms of colour work, because there were colour changes that I crocheted in, but then I also embroidered, I don't know if it's called roaning in dogs, but I know it's called roaning in horses, where like they're slightly white speckly, where they've like greyed and like seasonally they go slightly grayer. Anyway, so I embroidered all of that detail on. I had a pattern, but it wasn't for the breed of dog that this pet was, so I had to modify a pattern and then do the colour changes and stuff off my own bat. So it was very creatively taxing, which it was a great challenge. It was really fun. I was very tired afterwards because like you have to use your brain so much when you're thinking about the colour changes and like how to make it look the certain way that you want it to look when the pattern doesn't do it for you. You have to use a lot more brain power, so that was really fulfilling to finish it. But like that artist thing of like, oh, what if it's not good enough? Like what if there's a mistake? What if the person I'm giving it to like notices that I could have done something slightly different and blah blah blah. But I will go and get her because I'm honestly quite proud of her, and I don't know, if you know me you will know that pride is not an emotion that I feel. Don't know why, I've just like, there have been like 10 times in my life that I've ever felt proud of something that I've done or something that I've accomplished. I can feel a sense of like, yeah, good job me, like chuffed accomplishment, but never proud, never pride. So I'm actually, to say that I'm kind of proud of this, quite a big thing for me, so I'm gonna go get her. Also, ignore the craziness of my skin right now. I don't love that. I have had a psoriasis flare up, which I think has been linked to I've gotten slightly ill again, and also my uterus is acting up, so I think it's linked to that. And then I struggle with OCD, skin picking compulsions, so then where I've got the psoriasis on my face, I've then picked at it and made it really bad. But here is the doggy, and all of this like fleckling, all of the roning on the arms and legs, all of that is embroidered. The darkness on the nose, you can kind of see the difference between, like, here's a colour change and here is embroidery. You can kind of see the difference. She's playing like this. The eyes are hand painted glitter eyes. I don't know how to get them best in the light. There we go. So they're a lovely dark brown, and I do need to package her up and get her sent. I have made myself a list this morning in this notebook, which is my favourite notebook, and this is my testing notebook, of all the things that I needed to print and the things I needed to do, and I have done all but 2, which I'm really chuffed about. So all the stuff is printed because my paper came in. So all the paperwork that I needed to print has been printed. I just need to like stick it in the relevant folders and stuff. Then I think I just need to do a bit more filling in of paperwork, and then we can start actually testing, I believe. Apologise that I haven't been filming. It was, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, and I think I've said before, I don't want to come on here and be like, yay, hooray, I'm so happy, when I'm not, or when I'm just not in the right headspace to be talking to a camera. I don't want to fake it. To some extent there's like the fake it till you make it with YouTube, that like you pretend that you're really confident and eventually you will be. That to some extent I agree with, but just I don't want to be fake on camera. I'm not going to finish packing it up now because I want to do like some void paper that I think we probably have left over from like Amazon packages and stuff. Good afternoon everybody. Yep, it's afternoon. It's always afternoon when I film like this because I'm a lazy butt and I slept in all morning. Well, today at least anyway. It is about 3:45 in the afternoon and Father is here and he is going to help me with some more toy testing. I've got all my prototypes ready to go here. I've done the initial tests of like stretching and twisting and all of that stuff. So now I'm doing the bit that I need assistance for. You're supposed to record it, you're supposed to like keep track of everything. So I'm going to record it both for the vlog and for like proof. Enjoy. This is probably going to be like a time-lapse segment because it's really quite boring, but it might be informative to some of you. So we've got this guy and we're gonna 4, 5 and inspect the eyes. Nothing's cracked, nothing's damaged. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is very hodgepodge. We're doing it all upstairs in my office, as you can see, because going outside and like bending down and doing all that stuff would be too much for me physically. For our steel plate or equivalent hard surface, we are using a really, it's a French pan. It was made in France. I don't know, it's a really good pan. So we don't actually use this pan anymore, but it's a really good quality pan, so we've kept it and now I'm using it for this. We have also been using, because you need to balance for like a later test, apply a compression force through a weighted diameter of 300 millimeters. So we've been using a pizza plate, like a pizza dish tray thing, because that's circular, it's over 300 millimeters. And then you can put the weight on top. So we put that on top of the plushie and then put the weight on top of that, and then that counts. It's very much DIY at the moment. I'm also struggling today because uterus. But okay, we have a kilogram of weight to drop.
From 10 centimetres was it?
10 centimetres. RIPB. And then is he intact? That B was like, I ain't budging. And B number 3 is good. Okay, the next thing is to do tension tests on the same elements that we did the torque tests to. So tension, I think, is like pulling at the wings like that, pulling at the antenna, pulling at the arms, pulling at the whole thing, and that's really hurting my wrist. So I'm going to say that that passes. Again with wings, and now I'm not very strong, but I think I'm still stronger than a small child. Ow, that's bending my nail backwards. Ow! Ooh, ow, that hurt. So I pulled really hard at the felt eyes. They've not come off, which is really good. So how we've done it before, and what we're probably going to do again, is because you can't really, like, you can't grip it to get like a clump on the eye, we are going to use hooks. These are just shower hooks, and we get it. Yes, I apologise if you can hear my cat yelling. He's hungry. Dad's gone to feed the cats, so they're yelling because they want their din-dins. So we're gonna get the hook behind the eye, like so. That's as behind the eye as that's getting. I think I might get Dad to see if he can get it any more behind the eye, and then basically we're going to yank really hard on this. By the weight, 9.2 kilograms, hold the bee like so, and apply 9.2 kilograms on there, and if the eye comes out, it fails. If the eye stays in, we're good to go. We determined that this was the best method to test the eyes. We did some thorough research because, like, it's not, you can't really like there's no way to grip it. It's not grippable, so it doesn't count for like needing a grip test because you can't get your nails under it, but you can with difficulty kind of twist them. So you have to do the twist test, and then you have to test the strength of the with which that they're in there. So we do the hook test, and we googled as much as we could, and it basically said, like, we read the official thing, like we found the official like legislation document, legal stuff, and it said that if you can't grip it to get a clamp on, you need to like use a tool or something. That's what we're using, the hooks. Hello everyone, we have done a lot of the physical tests. We've done the physical test that involved Dad's help. You would have seen some of that. Not sure if I'm going to do them with felt eyes. They have passed the testing, but they're looking pretty ratty. Okay, my cat's yelling at me, bear with. We've got a 12mm diameter rod, and we've got our mushroom, and we basically need to see if we can stick it in, which, as you can see, it didn't work.
Any covering materials or seams, let's try to stick it through the cap. Nope. And you need to test on various places at various angles and rotate. So let's try different angles, and we're rotating as we do it.
I was just making a note that even though the felt eyes passed the tests, I'm not happy with how they look after they've passed the tests. So I'm not going to be selling plushies with felt eyes anymore.
Same on the big boy. Now I'm going to go for the stitch here because it looks big. But it's not going in.
You mustn't be able to insert the rod all the way through any gap, because I can now that that stitch has been stretched, I can stick a finger in, but it doesn't get stuck. But I can. Oh, I think that fails. I'm gonna mark that as a fail. Okay, so I need to make note of this because that fails, so I can't sell this. So this is why the testing is important, because a child could stick their finger in there and get it stuck. Like, I can't, but that's because I've got big fat chubby fingers. So the Banat Blanket Mushy Boys Nope. Although my hands are freezing. I have just got a bowl of water and I've just soaked them for 4 minutes. Now we need to let them sit for 10 minutes, then we need to soak them again, and we need to do that 4 times. You can see how red my hands have gone because the water's so cold. Fun fact about me, as a child and teenager, I was allergic to the cold. I had cold-induced urticaria, which is basically your immune system is fucked and just decides, hey, you know when we get cold or wet, we're gonna break out in really bad hives and give you a really bad allergic reaction. But I was told as a child that it would go away. I would always be sensitive to the cold, but it would go away. I don't know if I want to tell you this because it sounds really dumb, but I went to Greece. I am pagan, and I went to Greece and I prayed at a temple of Apollo to be healed of my urticaria. And since that day, I've not had an allergic reaction to the cold. Ever. That was when I was 14. I'm now 20. So that's crazy. I love telling people that story because they're like, wait, for realsies? And I'm like, yeah, for realsies. Like, even if that is psychological and is placebo, that's what it's called. Even if I've placebo healed myself, I don't care, I'm healed. I'm not allergic to the cold anymore. Like, still kind of reactive, like as you can see my hands have gone really red, but yeah, I've never had an allergic reaction to the cold since that day. It was the Temple of Apollo, but it was the altar of Asclepius. And that all came from my hands have gone red because of the cold water, and my plushies are soaking. Now we wait. Hello everybody, I am going to give you one guess as to who got sick the day before a big market. If you guess me, you're bang on. I am tissued up, bunged up. I can barely hear anything out of this ear because I'm so congested, and I'm hoping that it'll be like a one and done kind of situation where I'll be down in the dogs and feel shit today, and then hopefully tomorrow for the market I'll wake up and it'll be a bit better. I'm in a bit of a shit mood, so I haven't been filming this morning. It is just gone 2 o'clock and I haven't filmed. I have done a couple of the tasks that I needed to do today. So I've got my mics and I've charged all of my other devices. I've still got to pack my bags, but I've already started on that. I've packed up an audio replacement because stupidly I sent out an order with safety eyes and forgot to put the backs in, like an absolute moron. So I had to package those up and send those out. I've also packaged up some new merch that arrived this morning, which is going to be for my spring launch, and I thought, well, it's arrived, I might as well take it to the market tomorrow, see how it does, see if any of it sells. If it does, great. If it doesn't, nobody needs to know I took it. My bed is currently a mess because I have just been doing some inventory on my market iPad, and I figured now would be a great time to talk to you about my POS system, which is basically this iPad. I am in the UK, and the card reader that I have chosen to use after doing some research is the SumUp card reader, and I used to use the SumUp app on my phone, which I'm filming on, and I would check people out. It's just an app. You connect it to the card reader, you tell it what item someone's buying, and then you tap on it in the app and whatever. And that was okay, but it meant that I couldn't use my phone for filming, and the screen was also really titchy because it's a phone screen. Like, I've not got a huge phone. So it was kind of fiddly, and the user interface wasn't great. So then on my drawing iPad, I got the SumUp app. I had the SumUp app on my drawing iPad so that I could do inventory on the bigger screen. And then but I didn't want to take this to my markets because this is my precious drawing iPad and I didn't want it to get damaged at a market. I did some research, and the research told me that the SumUp app is much more user-friendly on iOS. That it looks basically, I don't know how true this is, but it said that it looks and reacts differently on Android. So I thought to myself, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy a cheap iPad, so it's iOS, just to use at markets. So I got this. This is, I think, a 10.2 inch iPad. I gave it a cute background that I did buy, but it's really cute. It's an older model. It's an 8th generation iPad, so it's a little older, but it still works just fine. It still updates to the latest iOS. Overall, it was just under £200. I got it on Back Market, so it is refurbished as well. So it's like new, but not. And I got it for a really good price, because when I was looking at the SumUp POS system, like for the SumUp, you can buy their tablet and their tablet is like £399. But their POS system, I would have had to upgrade my card reader, I would have had to get the POS system, it would have cost me about £400. And I was like, I can do that cheaper. And I knew that I liked the iOS POS app from having tried it on my drawing iPad. So what I have done is got myself my cheapish iPad, and then I've bought a stupidly cheap SIM card, which is amazing. I think I found like a deal. I think my mum actually helped me find this deal. But it's 5 gigs of data, which is more than I need for a market, more than I need for a month worth of markets. It was like £1.99. Sorry, I'm really struggling to breathe. So this has got a SIM card in it, which is data only SIM, and it means that at markets I can just use this and I don't have to use my phone hotspot, and this iPad connects to my SumUp. It's all self-sufficient. I don't need my phone in any part of the process anymore, which means it frees me up to be filming on my phone, which is great. This is what the checkout on the app looks like. So I've got categories and I just go into the category that the item is in. So if someone bought a cat, I would go into cats. Then select what colour of cat they bought. Say it's a black cat, adds it into the checkout menu over here. And then you can put in cash or card. And if I was to put in cash, it comes up with a thing where I can type in how much cash the customer gave me. So it's a £10 item, say they gave me a £20 note. It would then tell me that I need to give them £10 change, which is very helpful because I am a dum-dum and I'm not good at maths in my head on the spot when I'm pressured. There's also a cash management section, but it tells me the sales that I've had that day and when and what date. It gives me a list of items, it gives me a breakdown of my sales, it gives me a cash drawer, and it gives me a bunch of other fun things. So this is the actual card reader, and you turn it on, it automatically connects, and then I just take card payments with this. It does have a slot, so if the person, if tap isn't working, they can put their card in, and then the keypad is to type in the details. Anyway, that's my POS system, and I need to basically go through my small items, which are just down here. Quick plug for these kits because they're just in here. You get a whole bunch of stuff for starting to crochet amigurumi, but it is a mystery, so there's certain the specific items that you get, you don't know what it's going to be. Anyway, I think these are really fun. You get 2 pairs of hand painted safety eyes, a crochet hook, 2 stitch markers, my designs, a project bag or a hook case, again that has my design on, a merch item like a keyring or a pin badge, again my designs, plus yarn snips and a safety eye tool, and a QR code for a pattern and beginner tutorials. There's also a few other extra goodies in there as well. I think they're a great gift, they're a great way for people to learn to crochet, and I've been taking 3 to my markets. I haven't sold any yet, which is kind of a bummer, but that's how it is, isn't it? But if you would like one, you can go check them out on my website. I've also got a whole load of notepads, again, which I've sold 2 of online, but none in person. They're really cute as well. It's an A6 notepad with 50 pages, and it's got my dragon design with a cloudy background. It says, "Don't let it drag on, write it down." And it's supposed to be like a yarn pun, that your yarn's dragging on because you haven't written down what you were doing. I think it's really funny, but again, still got lots of those. Yeah, I'm still very poorly. I have basically done all my market prep though. I've tagged everything, I have everything in my summer. So I've started crocheting because I was testing some stuff this week, which you would have seen. And therefore I don't have some stuff because I used it for testing. Now we're gonna try and be productive. Hello folks. I am still ill. I am popping on because it is starting to get gloomy outside, so I've had to put my big light on, which means that the quality of this video is going to go rapidly downhill. I have been crocheting a little bit, not too hard. I had so many plans for today. I was going to do more testing. I was basically going to do a bunch of testing so that I could put the mark on the plushies that I'm selling at the market. I don't advertise that I am tested, so if anyone asks, they don't have a mark on, and if anyone asks, I can say I'm in the process. So some are almost fully tested but not quite, and you know, I'm just gonna be honest about it if anyone asks. But yeah, so I've done a little bit of crocheting this afternoon. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, I had so many plans and they've basically all gone down the drain because I've been ill, so I've been resting. But I have made 2 mushy boys. This one's much bigger for some reason. I think I had least attention. It doesn't look too bad in person, but on camera they do look very different. And I am currently making a calico cat. I think I'm gonna put you on a time lapse of me crocheting this cat, and then I'm probably gonna be done for this week's vlog, if I'm being honest. And then it will be straight tomorrow into a market vlog, which will probably be the video you see after this one. It is, I've heard, quite cramped, so I may not feel too comfortable filming, but we shall see, we shall see.